Boruto Chapter 77 is out, and it's easily one of the best Boruto chapters start to finish. The whole chapter was intense and interesting, and I'm sure plenty of you are riding the Boruto hype train. Not only that, this chapter answers one of the biggest questions that's been asked ever since Chapter 1, and that's, what did Kawaki mean when he said, "I'll send you where I sent the 7th Hokage, Boruto"? And why did Kawaki send Naruto away somewhere, given how much he cares about him?
Seriously? You asked why?
But you gotta wait a bit, because that's not till the end of the chapter. So the chapter is called Time Drawing Near, which definitely seems like a nod to Momoshiki's words in Chapter 67 when he said, "But it'll be soon, the time draws near," which is in reference to the true spectacle where Boruto loses everything. So that moment is coming very soon, but the chapter actually starts off where we left off last time, with Kawaki getting all up in Boruto's face and being moody and aggressive like usual. Boruto tries to cover it up and pretend Momoshiki wasn't talking to him, but Kawaki just ignores him and says, "I wasn't asking you." Kawaki just does not care what Boruto has to say in the matter here. Now Sarada and Sumire then show up, getting all mad, and Sumire has a flashback to Chapter 69 when Kawaki said, "You're not gonna condemn me for killing Boruto," and she's looking pretty concerned here. Now Sarada's like, "We're in the middle of an important mission, remember? This is no time for infighting." And Kawaki just tells Sarada to shut up. He's like, "Stay out of this, Sarada. Otsutsuki don't care whether we're in the middle of something or not." And I thought it was kind of funny. Then Shikamaru tells Kawaki to stop, and Kawaki just keeps throwing shade at everyone, saying, "You bystanders, shut up and listen. That bastard Momoshiki's up to something. That's what my gut's telling me." And Shikamaru's like, "And you stop and recall Naruto's face when he saw that his son was dead. So calm down and really ponder what it is you actually need to do." Now, these words are kind of going to affect Kawaki from the looks of it. That's why he's kind of just staring in the next panel. So he stops, he lets go of Boruto, and then he just storms off. And Boruto's asking where he's going, and Kawaki's just like, "A minor errand, leave me alone," and he continues to ignore Boruto when he's trying to get him to stop. Then the sensory team says they can't find him because Kawaki hides his chakra signature. They also use the Sukuna Hikona, so people like Mitsuki couldn't even see him. He was too tiny. Then Eida and Daemon start walking out here, and Boruto's just losing. He's getting all mad at them for wandering around on their own. But Eida says, "Don't be such a stickler. It's not attractive." And then Shikamaru updates Boruto and basically tells him to find Kawaki if he can, like he did last time. And while Boruto's, throwing a fit over Kawaki, Eida is actually sticking up for Kawaki, being like, "What's the big deal? He's not a child. Let's go, girls." And Boruto tells her to stop, but Eida starts to get a little bit more serious and says, "No thanks, or rather, do not order me around. I don't care to butt heads, but if you try to block me from doing what I want, I won't play nice with you." So this is kind of what's interesting about Eida. Like, she's basically threatening everyone, like, "Hey, I don't want to fight, but if you don't let me do what I want, I'm gonna beat your ass." Then Shikamaru just tells Boruto to just keep your eyes on Eida. That'll be his new mission, and have Sarada and Sumire go with him. Then we finally get an update on Code after the last 6 chapters of not seeing him. And the first panel we get is those Otsutsuki stone tablets again. And I said this before in a previous video, but I'll say it again. They keep showing us the tablets, and specifically they're pointing out the fact that Ishiki's tablet is black. That is clearly important. I said I think Ishiki's alive. I went over in a whole video before. You can go ahead and watch it after this. But they are clearly trying to show us something about these panels. And we already know the 2 on the right are destroyed. That's not new. We're not seeing more of them. So the only thing I can think of is they're trying to show us Ishiki's tablet is black. Anyway, though, Bug is currently having a party, drinking some liquor. And then we get a shot of Code's Tentil's army, where Bug is still pretty uncomfortable around them because they look pretty creepy. And he asks Code how many of his claw grind fellas he has now. And Code says that he has well over 1,000 of them, including the ones he's storing away. And that he'd love to launch an attack on Konoha with them, but Eida's there, so sadly, there'd be no element of surprise. So Coates either just assuming Eida joined, which makes sense, or he actually used the claw mark eye ability thing he showed us, chapter 72, to actually spy on them. My guess is that he's just assuming though. That being said, Coat did leave that dimension at some point because he's got a new outfit, and he also got Bug some liquor while he was doing that, and this Bug went with him. So Coat obviously left at some point here, but the more important thing, I want to talk about this more in another video, but Coat's mentioning storing some away here. And he already knows Eida is there, so he doesn't really plan on just launching an attack on the Leaf Village with his army, which means he actually has a different plan for this army. I'll leave the rest for the next video though. Eida was watching that whole scene though, and she told Shikamaru what Coat's doing, and that he's calling his army Claw Grime, and that their numbers are still growing. Shikamaru asks a kind of dumb question, which is that, are these Claw Grimes strong? And Eida's just like, bruh, they're pieces of the 10 tails. I don't think they're gonna be weak. Then she explains Coat's perspective, which is that Kawaki stole everything from him, including Ashiki and herself, so he's planning to destroy everything Kawaki values. And she says that it's such an unjustified grudge. Total turn off. And Shikamaru rightfully assumes the Leaf Village is one of those valuable things. Then Eida starts screaming, "Hey, this one's cute too!" And I thought this panel was funny with the shop lady who's like, "It suits you quite well, miss." And Eida's just like, "Oh gosh, I can't decide." And then Shikamaru's blushing, which is kind of weird. He never once blushed towards Eida ever before, even when looking at her. So I don't know if this is him blushing or if it's just him kind of getting, what's the word? Distracted. I don't know. He's just kind of confused. Eida's just randomly doing stuff. He's a little bit embarrassed. I don't know. But he says not to cry out suddenly, and he's going to cover Eida's expenses, which the Leaf Village is going to go in debt after that. But then Sarada and Sumire keep up their act, pretending that Eida is super hot and that they're attracted to her. And Boruto, meanwhile, feels out of place with the whole shopping thing. And Daemon keeps throwing his shade like usual. But this is now where I think the most interesting part of the chapter comes in. So Daemon explains that Boruto is weak and has no redeeming qualities at all. And that everyone who we met at the station was small fry too. So we asked, aren't there any decent fighters here in this village? Boruto's just like, well, wait till you meet Naruto and Sasuke. But Daemon notices something, hops off Boruto and sprints out somewhere, and he looks shocked. And the person who he was looking for was actually Himawari. So he lunges at her and says, "Yeah, who are you?" And then Himawari's like, what? And then Daemon comes to learn that Himawari is Boruto's little sister. And so, then they start talking about the shopping stuff. Daemon, though, just lunges right in at Himawari, goes in for a punch, but he stops because Himawari didn't remotely try to dodge. She just kind of closed her eyes and didn't do anything. So Daemon asks, why didn't you dodge it? It should be easy for the likes of you. Himawari and Boruto have no idea what Daemon's talking about because Himawari isn't a ninja yet. And according to Boruto, she doesn't even know how to fight, which is cap. She does know how to fight. She literally knocked out Naruto and Kurama with one hand. And she also, fights people in the anime. But Daemon's surprised by this. But, he comes around and says, okay, I guess she does seem weak from up close. But then, what was that intensity I felt from her just now? And Boruto's like, well, despite how she looks, she can get pretty scary when she snaps. So you really shouldn't mess with her. And Boruto's thinking about that scene I was talking about earlier with Himawari chasing after Boruto because he stole her stuffed animal or whatever it was. And she was super angry and Boruto was scared of her and she knocked out Naruto and Kurama. It's that lock-on mode that she goes into where she just loses control to her Byakugan or whatever's going on there, and she gets really strong and immediately accomplishes whatever her task was. So Daemon is probably sensing that innate power within Himawari, but she has no control over that thing yet, and so she's not even really a ninja. So her like fighting skill isn't really there. She's not that strong on command, but like deep within her, there's a lot of power, and that's what Daemon's noticing. And the reason why this is so interesting is that, like, before, Daemon just talked shit about Code, Boruto, and Kawaki, and he openly admitted that everyone else in the Leaf Village is small fry, and he asked if there was anybody who was decent in this village. But the only person who has remotely caught his attention is Himawari. He noticed some specific thing within her, and I do think that's going to be important. Whether it means she's going to awaken the Tenseigan, the Jogan, or some other Byakugan related thing, who knows which it'll be. But I'm sure it's going to relate to her Byakugan, Hyuga genetics, maybe Otsutsuki genetics, and specifically that lock-on power thing she does in the anime. But then Boruto starts to wonder if Daemon has a crush on Himawari, and he's like, oh, no way, Big Bro will never approve you here. And Himawari is just confused. Then we cut to the final scene of the chapter, which is where things start to take a turn for the worst here. But it starts off with Hinata all smiling because she's happy that they can eat dinner together every day. And Naruto's like, yeah, you mean the real me, not a clone this time. But Hinata says that it'd be even better if Boruto and Kawaki could join them. And she asks how long the mission's gonna last, and Naruto's not really sure, but it's probably gonna be for a while since all of them are stubborn problem children. And at that moment, Kawaki has appeared and nobody's noticed him. And he's just like, sorry to be a pain. And Naruto's confused, like, how the heck did Kawaki get there? And Kawaki's just like, the lookouts are incompetent as usual, because they rely solely on detecting chakra. This should be obvious, but don't tell anyone I'm here. Naruto asks, what about your mission, dude? And Kawaki's just thinking like, bro, I do not give a shit about this mission, okay? All I care about is Momoshiki. So he tells Naruto to take a seat because he wants to talk to him. Naruto is trying to be all clever, and he's like, it'll be dinner time when Hima gets home. Why don't you stay and eat too? But Kawaki's just like, just sit down, it won't take long. And then he says, I know I say this a lot, but I'm grateful to you, truly. And Naruto's like, this again? Stop it. It's getting really creepy. Kawaki keeps being creepy though, and says, you changed me from a bastard who was just a vessel. I was a walking corpse who had no reason to live. You breathed life into me. And Naruto's like, bro, you exaggerate. You were plenty fine from the start if you ask me. A kind-hearted person who is willing to sacrifice oneself to protect others, just as you did with Himawari and me. But Kawaki disagrees and says, you enabled me to do so, by awakening this version of me that I didn't know existed. I would do anything to protect you, even die without hesitation. My world revolves around you, to an extent that even surprises me. So Kawaki's basically admitting that he's obsessed with Naruto, as we all knew. And Naruto kind of admitted that it's getting creepy now, how much Kawaki cares about Naruto. But he continues to say that this world we live in is full of crap, and generally, good people like you are those who die first. Which, this is random, but it kind of reminds me of like Obito's like ideology of how he wanted to create a world where people like Rin didn't die. Rin being like the stereotypical good person in Obito's eyes, like Naruto is for Kawaki. Obviously, Kawaki does not plan on making an infinite Tsukuyomi right now, but that kind of concept just reminded me of that. But anyway, he says, so long as gigantic pieces of crap like the Otsutsuki are running amok, that's when people like Naruto die. But Naruto's like, well, it's the job of us ninja to dispose of such bastards, right? But Kawaki says, no. Ninja are simply those who die earlier. That's the extent of it. Now again, Kawaki's looking down on ninja. It's a nod to that chapter 1 scene when he says the age of shinobi is over. Exactly how that relates to things, I don't know. But you can just see, like, ever since chapter 58 too, like Kawaki's had this negative look on ninja. Naruto doesn't get what Kawaki's saying, and Kawaki continues to say, I only know this now that I've gained their powers, but that's what comes of taking on Otsutsuki. Whether a ninja or not, you have no choice except to be killed. Which doesn't make any sense at all, sorry. Like, the first 4 out of 5 Otsutsuki we saw all died without anyone dying on the Leaf side. Think about it. Kaguya, okay, Naruto and Sasuke and Kakashi and Sakura too fought Kaguya. None of them died. I guess Obito died. Sorry, my bad. But versus Momoshiki, nobody died. They all survived. Same with Kinshiki. He died. Nobody died. Urashiki, nobody died. I know it was anime only, but still, nobody died. The only time someone died was versus Ishiki, where Kurama died. So, I mean, Kawaki is kind of capping. I mean, half the Otsutsuki had 0 deaths. The other half had 1 each. Sorry. I think he's exaggerating. But Kawaki really doesn't want Naruto to die, so he's decided that he'll destroy the Otsutsuki. Every last one, using their own powers to root them all out. And Naruto's like, every last one? Kawaki says, I came here to follow proper procedure, because I shouldn't do this without telling you. Hinata comes running by, is like, wait, Kawaki, are you saying... Kawaki cuts her off and says, do you know what my first thought was when I found out Boruto was alive? That I'd failed to take him down. And Hinata starts crying, and Kawaki says, I even felt a sort of guilt over having messed up. It actually surprised me. But this time, I swear, and then Hinata goes in with a slap in the face. Highlight the chapter there. But it's actually, like, I joked about in the spoilers that it's like character development for Hinata, but it kind of is. Like, she just straight up slaps Kawaki, who she clearly cares about, because in like 2 pages ago, she wished that Boruto and Kawaki were there to join him. So she doesn't hate Kawaki. She's just pissed at him for talking like this. And then she tells Kawaki, you're insane. No decent human being would think that way. And Kawaki's like, it sure might seem like that to you. Then again, you're right. Only a crazy person could kill their own brother. But don't misunderstand. I'm totally calm and thinking straight. Hinata's still crying. She's telling him to stop it. But Kawaki's already reached the conclusion that there's no other way. And because you guys won't ever be able to carry it out, I'll do it. Even if it means you'll hate me to death for it. Naruto, though, gets serious and says, I won't let you. So you'll end up killing me before you get to Boruto. Can you still do it? But Kawaki just says, I ain't asking you to understand. And then he activates his eye and starts making a warpy portal here, where he then sends them away. And there's a zoom in on Kawaki's eye, followed by Naruto reaching his hand out, like he's trying not to be sent away here. So that means Kawaki did this without using Karma's dimension travel ability. I mean, he didn't even activate Karma or stick his hand out like he's using the Karma. All the emphasis is on his eye, which means he did this with Ishiki's eye. And, I mean, Ishiki had to have been able to do space-time with his eye. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to do space-time travel like he did. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because I know in the spoiler video, went back and forth with a few of you guys in the comments, and there's arguments for both sides, but it is possible that Kawaki means to have sent Naruto and Hinata to Daikoku-ten, where time doesn't flow, because that way, Naruto and Hinata can't move, they won't die there from aging, they won't die there from not being able to eat or drink, because time doesn't flow there, they'll be exactly the same. And furthermore, that would prevent Naruto from just reverse summoning himself out of that dimension. Granted, you know, I know the argument, you know, you have to shrink them to send them to Daikoku-ten thing, but if Kawaki just sent him to a random dimension, Naruto really could just summon Gamabunta, jump in his mouth, and reverse summon away, like Kashi and Koji did to escape from Ishiki. Naruto could easily escape this situation by doing that. But they're not going to do that because that would make this whole thing completely pointless. So if they want to make it make sense that Naruto's stuck there, I feel like the better option would be Daikoku-ten. And Ishiki didn't say he has to shrink things to send things to Daikoku-ten. He just says it's a dimension that when he shrinks things, he stores them in Daikoku-ten. So, you know, take it how you will, we'll see what happens. Kawaki then says, once it's all done, you're welcome to kill me. So you just wait until then, Lord 7th. And that's where the chapter ends, and the final shot of the chapter is the picture frame of Naruto, Hinata, Himawari, and Boruto breaking, which kind of symbolizes their family falling apart. which I do think is part of Boruto losing everything. He's losing Naruto, he's losing Hinata, he's gonna lose Kawaki because Kawaki's gonna turn on him and leave the village at some point, and Boruto's probably gonna lose Sasuke too. The only one I don't think he's gonna lose is Himawari, especially now that Daemon just hyped up her great power, and I really don't think they would have bothered doing that if Himawari was just gonna die in like 3 chapters. So that power is probably going to be important moving forward. So this was definitely a big chapter though. Like I said, there was a lot of good stuff. It started off kind of intense with Kawaki. The stuff with Eida was pretty interesting because it shows how manipulative she can be. She's distracting the situation by just saying, oh, let's go shopping instead. She's also sticking up for Kawaki. So moving forward, I don't think Eida gives a shit if Kawaki tries to kill Boruto again, or whether he succeeds or not. She didn't care last time. Kawaki already pointed out that she sold Boruto out to Code when they were in an alliance there. So I'm pretty sure Eida's just gonna side with Kawaki throughout the whole thing. At least right now. Whatever Kawaki does, she's going to follow. Daemon's going to go with her. So you already know that's kind of a trio there. The wild card is Amado, because Amado would want to follow Kawaki so we can revive Akebi. But then he has to get around betraying the Leaf Village, which is going to make Shikamaru super mad here. But that's besides the point. I do think you need to keep your eyes on Eida, Daemon, and Amado, though, and how they react to everything Kawaki does moving forward. And then, of course, you have this end of the chapter here. Things start getting heated. Kawaki just sends Naruto and Hinata away. I really liked the Hinata slap moment and her calling Kawaki crazy, but Kawaki didn't care. Let me know in the comments where you think Kawaki sent Naruto. Do you think it's Daikoku 10 or some random dimension like the Tentos one is? Let me know what you think there. But seeing this happen was definitely cool to see. It's a big moment. It was coming anyway. I told you guys for a long time that Kawaki was going to send Naruto away by the end of part 1. That was my big prediction. Kawaki was going to lose Naruto, the one he cares the most about. And by extension, so will Boruto. Boruto's going to parallel Kawaki, and he's going to lose Sasuke most likely. Whether that's because Boruto gets rid of Sasuke, or it's just his fault, doesn't matter. The point is, I think Sasuke's going to die because he has a million death flags, and he's going to parallel Naruto by leaving the story too. They're both going to be gone for a while. Naruto's not going to have come back by that future scene that we saw in the first chapter. So however long that is in the future, Naruto's still out of the story. Same with Hinata, and I think Sasuke will be gone too. It's symbolizing the shift from the story of Naruto and Boruto to just Boruto, because Naruto's not even in the story anymore, and neither is most of the old gen. There are exceptions though. Kakashi is probably going to be the Hokage again, or Shikamaru, one or the other. I know Ikimoto had that thing he said about Kakashi having his big moment coming very soon, which was Cap. That was like 5 years ago or something, I don't know. But it definitely wasn't soon for the Kakashi moment, if this is even what he was talking about. But I would say Shikamaru or Kakashi, most likely Hokage candidates. I do want it to be Kakashi though, because I feel like he's a better Hokage, or rather would be a better Hokage than Shikamaru would be. And I also just want some funny moments with Kakashi and Guy. This is our chance to have Guy say some funny things with Kakashi, and I will not complain about any humor in Boruto. Because the manga, it's definitely gotten better with the humor thing, like night and day ever since chapter 74. The manga became way funnier than it ever was, but I still think Naruto was generally funnier, for the most part anyway. And seeing Code again was also nice to see, get that little update there on what he's planning. And I already had a video I was working on, and I'm going to continue to finish it with just some slight adjustments here with this new chapter. But I do want to talk about Code moving forward, because I think that's interesting. And Sasuke, of course, was still missing in this chapter, and I'm going to tie that into that Code video too, because I do think there's a little bit of a connection there. Sasuke is probably on an important mission though. I'll leave it at that for now. I want to hear what you guys think though. Obviously, I'm sure most of you thought this was a big chapter, but between the 3 main things here, I want to ask is, 1, what do you think about the Himawari power thing? What do you think her power is? Do you think it's the Tenseigan? Do you think it's the Jogan? Do you think it's Shibai's DNA? Do you think it's just a super powerful Byakugan? Or whatever. Just let me know what you think her power is, as well as if you think it's the lock-on power, or at least that's connected to it. Then as far as Code, what do you think his plan is? Because like I said, it doesn't seem like his plan is to attack the village with his army. So what do you think his plan actually is with that army? He's calling Claw Grind, which is kind of a weird name. And then lastly, just say something about that last scene with Kawaki and Naruto. Do you think Kawaki sent him to Daikoku-ten? Do you think it's a random dimension? What do you think about that scene? How well do you think it was done? And where do you think he sent him? And the other question I just want to hear now is, why do you think they keep showing us those Otsutsuki tablets where Shiki's panel is black? Do you agree with me? They're trying to show us that the tablet is black? Or do you think it's something else? Let me know in the comment section below, but that's a wrap on today's video, so thank you guys for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, and hit the bell icon for notifications, and become a member too if you want. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.